Oh, I see what you're saying.
Go. You're live on YouTube.
I am on TACNN.
Do what? Do what, Terry?
I'm live on which YouTube?
It just says live on YouTube.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Go. You're live on YouTube.
Yeah. I am on TACNN.
It says I can view the stream on YouTube.
Do what, Terry? I'm live on which YouTube? Yeah, we're on
It just says live on YouTube.
Hang on, let me turn my volume down on my TV so we'll get that echo. Okay. Yeah, we're live on Terrell Arnold 1.
Okay.
On Terrell Arnold 1. Okay, Brian, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. I just muted the YouTube, and I just want to make sure I didn't turn our volume off on the YouTube, or if I just turned it off on my TV.
Well, it says here I can view the stream. Is that going to disconnect me from this or just take me to that?
Yeah, don't do that because it'll take you away from Zoom.
Here.
That'll take you to YouTube.
Okay.
All right, that's probably Gerald trying to join.
Well, Tammy just got attacked by Black Chow.
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, Terry.
She wants to play all the time.
Are you not doing video tonight?
No, I'm on my phone. I'm just going to do the audio.
Okay. All right. Well, we got I think Rod's going to be joining us shortly.
Okay.
But we're up on YouTube on my channel right now on Terrell Arnold 1.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I can't get it to go on TACNN. And also, we can. What the plan is to go up on my Facebook in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And then we can share that to wherever we want to from there.
Okay.
But the question I wanted to ask while we were talking about that was, is that going to allow it to be archived on YouTube?
I don't know that Terry will have to answer that.
Well, I'll be archiving it on my computer and on Facebook.
Okay.
So I can load it to YouTube later if we need to.
Okay.
But
just out of, so that y'all know what happened, Tucker Carlson just announced that laptop was definitely Hunter Biden's. They have conclusive proof of it.
awesome.
He's an idiot.
Do what now?
He's a crackhead, you know.
He's an idiot.
That's pretty much the definition of an idiot.
Yeah, I'm gonna record Tucker where I can hear it after we get it off. Hold on just a second.
The left is at war with nature. Inevitably, they will lose that war.
Yeah, I've got that. I record Tucker every night, him and Hannity both.
So much damage, so many children being hurt irreparably. Biden doesn't care.
So I can go back and get the best out of them.
Biden is now busy rewriting his entire life story to pretend that he has been woke for 60 years. Last time he told us he became a gay rights supporter In the Kennedy administration, sometime around 1962.
Hold on just a second. Is it recording?
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got it. I got it going, so we're in good shape.
Okay.
Are we just waiting on Rod's what we're doing?
Well, Rod he'll be in, I think, but I'm not sure when. He was coming back from Red Bay.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead with our part. Are you going to be in on the, you see what's behind Brian there?
No, I didn't.
You can't see his background behind him?
Speak up, Brian, where it'll change to you.
Oh, okay. Can you see what's behind me?
Oh, yeah. You're in jail. That's right.
Yep. I thought I'd use this as the background whenever we were talking about my jail time and First Amendment rights.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll actually want you to interject whenever I'm talking about that, because you know the ins and outs of the legal aspects of the social media stuff.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the difference between
Everybody says that private companies are not subject to the First Amendment. And to a certain degree, they're true. They're correct.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to talk about, the difference between a platform and a publisher.
So, Gerald, you said you talked to Josh Hawley's office today?
I did for quite a while.
How'd that go? You just talk to an aide?
I talked to an aide. I talked to an aide that was familiar with what he's been trying to do with with this whole issue. And it took me a few minutes to convince him. He was of the opinion at first that
What's the thumbs up?
subject to the First Amendment, but I finally
I'm glad he got it done.
Gordon?
I asked what the thumbs up was for.
You can click on reactions on the bottom of the page. You can pop up something,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it took me a while to educate him how the First Amendment applies or conceivably could apply to this, and it's technically not the First Amendment. Let me make sure you understand what I have proposed. I have proposed that, I don't know if Brian, I've talked to Terry about this. I don't know if you understand it or not, but
yeah, you were talking about that the web is owned by the federal government.
Well, not the web necessarily, but URLs are owned by the federal.
Oh, okay, URLs. I knew it was some part that was owned by the government, and you were thinking that would be a way to put pressure on them to not do the things that they're doing.
What you have to understand is this. Every website in the world is located at an IP address, and that IP address is like a phone number. Let's just say that Twitter's IP address is 256-974-8706. That's their IP address. I don't know what it is. I've looked up some of them, and I can find some of them. So if you were to type that number into your address bar, not a search engine, but your address bar, it would take you to Twitter. It would display everything on Twitter's website. But for you to remember that number is terribly difficult. And for all the millions of people that use Twitter that would want to access Twitter, to remember that number is terribly difficult. So what they came up with was a simplified way to access that. And those are called Uniform Resource Locators. That's URLs. And the federal government owns a public corporation. It's that owns every one of them. And they're leased to companies on a yearly basis. and they can be renewed automatically if both parties agree. And what I am proposing is that any company that discriminates against people based on, and our particular instance would be political affiliation, but I would suggest that they also include things like race and gender and things of that nature, religious affiliation. Anyone who discriminates against someone based on those becomes ineligible to lease one of those URLs again. So that would not in any way keep Twitter from having a website. They would still have their website and you could still access their website, but you'd have to remember that long number and type it in every time. So what would happen to the traffic onto Twitter or to Facebook? It would drop practically to zero. Therein
Change, could
lies
they change the connection in their apps to go to that telephone number or whatever number it is?
do what now? I didn't quite question.
Okay, so all these companies have an app, Facebook, Twitter. Could they change the connection line in their app to that number?
Sure, they could do that, but there's lots and lots and lots of people that don't access them with phones. They access them over a desktop, and they don't use an app. They have it bookmarked.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It would cut their traffic by 50, 30, 40, 50, 60%. And they don't want that to happen. And they know that's exactly what would happen. And that's why I say that if Trump were to direct the Department of Commerce, and they own that public corporation, they can own it entirely. If Trump was to direct it to refrain from renewing the lease on any company that allows public comments and who discriminates against anyone based on any number of criteria. But I would include some of the catchphrases that the Democrats want. So because Democrats are against some of this too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Democrats are up until the last couple of days, the Democrats were really hard against Twitter and Facebook as well. So if you put in there that if you discriminate against somebody on the basis of sex or the basis of gender or the basis of race or any other number, number of things, some of the Democrats will buy into it. And when they do, Twitter and Facebook are going to straighten themselves up, just like a child that you got a hold of a Peachtree switch and get switched on them legs. You think about it. Their net worth is going to decrease by billions of dollars in a heartbeat. They're not going to continue to do this. Now, the route that Hawley and everybody else is trying to take is they're wanting to go down and change this liability law, and that's okay, but it's going to take a long time, and it's going to take compromise with the Democrats, and it's probably never going to happen because Google and Facebook and Twitter have bought off so many politicians. It's pitiful. It's probably not ever going to happen. But this way, Trump could do it himself without the United States Congress approval. And that's why I say this is a better approach.
Yeah, that would be using the department that's under his control right now.
That's exactly right.
And
he could do it one of two ways.
Regulations.
He could do it with an executive order, or he could just direct the head of that department to promulgate a regulation. That's all they have to do, and it's done.
So what was the finish of this? What did Hawley's office say?
Their only concern with what would happen if the Democrats take over the White House. And I told him, I said, basically what I would propose doing is to set up a 50-member commission, each one appointed by one of the states, because there's way more conservative Republican states than there are Democrat states. And I said, stagger the terms, start out with 2, 4, and 6 and have them 6-year terms, or maybe 8, even 8-year terms, so that one White House couldn't come in and change everything.
You think that could happen between now and the election day?
Absolutely. It could happen in a day. Trump could do it in a day.
No, I mean, as far as getting all the commissions set up.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's how fast can all the states operate.
Yeah.
It's the threat of this that will stop Twitter and Facebook from doing what they're doing. Once they realize that somebody has the power to take away that URL from them, they're going to stop. Because without that URL, they're sunk. They are absolutely sunk. And you talk about the apps. I don't know if the apps goes to the IP address or goes to the actual URL. I would think it's probably going to the URL, and here's why. Because they use a thing called load balancing. Google, for example, has probably when I was in the SEO business, we pretty well, fairly accurately theorized that Google had over 150 IP addresses for google.com. In other words, if Terry were to type in google.com, it's going to go to an IP address, like a telephone number. And if that one is loaded, it switches to another one. And if that one's loaded, it switches to another one. It basically starts out with the ones that are closest geographically located. And then if those are got too much traffic at that moment, it goes to another one. So you would think that if they put out an app, the app would take advantage of the load balancing thing that they've got built into the system. The app would not go to one particular IP address because it would overload that IP address really quickly. It was just like it. Think of it like a telephone bank. And if you call into a telephone bank and one line's busy, it automatically switches to the second line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you were to build an app, you wouldn't build that app so it would switch to one particular phone in that phone bank. You would build it so it would switch, so it would go to the overarching number that leads to any phone in that phone bank, and that is the URL. So if I'm correct on that, then that would make their apps useless as well. If they want to try to make another app, they could do that. But how long is it going to take to get everybody in the world using this second app? How are they going to advertise? Do away with this first Twitter app we got, and let's go with this next Twitter app. We got another one out. It's going to be a huge amount of confusion on their part. Trust me,
well,
they don't want
then all they'd have to do, all the Trump administration would have to do is find out what that second app is, where it's going, and kill it, right?
Well, no, they can't kill the IP address. The IP address is going to.
No, not the IP address, the URL.
Yeah, but in other words, Twitter right now, the URL is twitter.com.
Right.
What you would be taking away from them is twitter.com. They lease that from this company that's owned by the Department of Commerce, and it's a 1-year lease, and it renews automatically as long as both parties agree, as long as they have to keep the money in there, and they're given like a 30-day grace period normally. But Trump can change that. Trump can say you aren't eligible to be renewed if you discriminate against certain groups of people.
Okay.
That's what I've been saying all along. This is the theory that I've come up with on how it can be done without Congress. And that's why I've been trying my best to figure out how to get in front of somebody that will listen.
So Hawley's office,
it'll work.
The person you talked to is going to. Do you know who you talked to? What their title was or anything?
No, I forgot to do that. I was actually on the road when I called him. I decided I was just tired of sending out emails and posting on YouTube and posting on Facebook. I just gonna call them and see what happened. So they put me in touch with somebody that knew something about what Hawley had been trying to do. And I told him, I said, I understand your approach, but here's another approach that I think is better because it does not require congressional approval. You don't have to get Nancy Pelosi to go along with it.
Because you know that ain't gonna happen.
No, it ain't gonna happen. But a lot of Democrats would applaud this if he would include in those categories of people to not be discriminated against people based on race and gender and marital status and all this other craziness that they want, and that's fine. That's fine. Let them.
Don't say sexual orientation or preference. I mean,
well, they're going to include that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is sexual preference is now offensive.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Y'all didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh, well, a couple of days ago when Miss Barrett was sitting there in front of the laughing stock, Senator Hornio, I think is how you pronounce it.
Oh, that idiot from Hawaii.
Yeah.
From Hawaii.
So she was running off all this stuff about, her saying sexual preference. Well, that's an outdated form of a word, and it's very offensive. It should be sexual orientation. Merriam-Webster's dictionary that day changed the meaning of preference to say it was offensive.
Really? Man.
In real time, they had a non-word.
Isn't that something?
Unbelievable.
There's screenshots out there that show, just within a few seconds of each other, preference getting a fifth meaning, being offensive.
In 1948, there was a really interesting book written by a man named, I believe it was George Orwell.
Yep, 1984.
And he twisted the date around and called it 1984. We are in 1984 now.
Read the book, seen the movie.
I've read the book. I didn't see the movie, but I read the book.
Yeah, it's got John Hurt in it.
Okay.
Yep, it does. But it's Big Brother is definitely in force and very powerful.
But you know where Big Brother is? Big Brother's in China.
Yeah, you're right about
China's
that.
pulling lots of these strings, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, the more I find out about this Hunter Biden crap and Joe Biden, they have got Joe Biden by the short hairs.
Oh, yeah, they do. In more ways than one.
In more ways than one, you're right.
Well, we're 18 days away from 1984 becoming reality.
Yep, you're right.
Well, guys, I really believe I don't think we're really going to have too much issue in this area as far as unrest or riots or whatever. I don't think we will. I could be wrong. But these other northern areas where they're less Second Amendment kind of folks, I think that it's going where we've never seen anything like what's fixing to happen. I think Trump's going to win in a landslide. I really do.
It will. Well, here's the thing. Even if he does win in a landslide, this is not going to end.
No, it's not going to end.
Oh, I know.
It's going to get worse. Even if Biden wins, it just bolsters some more, and it's going to get worse. It's going to start in the Democrat cities first, then it's going to come here.
But here's the thing: if Trump wins, he'll take the gloves off. I think so too.
I think he'll invoke the Insurrection Act, and he'll get the U.S. military involved. And believe me, these cowards, these snowflakes, will run for the hills.
Yep, they'll melt.
The one thing that that impressed me so much this year about Trump is the fact that he didn't take the bait from the Democrats and impose his will on coronavirus and didn't do like Biden is wanting to do and make it federalized. And because Trump could have done that, but he didn't take their bait. Now, what scares me is if all this happens and he wins re-election, is it going to look a lot like him being authoritarian? And I mean, I realize by the Constitution, he's got the authority to do it. But in our society now, optics is everything.
I don't think Trump really cares. After he gets elected, I don't think he's going to be real big on, optics. Honestly, I really don't.
I think
I think
you're
he's
right.
gonna just do what's right for the country. And the heck with the optics.
I just hope that it turns out where it doesn't preclude the conservative or constitutionalists from ever getting elected again.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I do too.
That's my biggest fear, because a win could be a loss if it's not done right.
It could be a Pyrrhic victory. You're right. But I really believe Trump is smarter than that. I think there's going to be a lot of, it's like if you've got a gangrenous foot, you have to cut that foot off. You haven't got a choice. You got to cut that foot off. And, but, and you have to learn to walk without a foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's going to be, while he's draining the swamp, there's going to be some feet cut off.
Look, I wouldn't be opposed to the left coast being its own country.
Give them back to Mexico.
Well, Mexico, the Mexicans could flow right up in there.
Yep.
They already have.
I think they ought to make a line about 20 miles from the coast, because the interior of California is conservative.
Yeah, it is.
You get that part around the coast and give it to Mexico.
Well, I'd say give them time to get out.
No, I don't want them out. I want them to stay there.
Well, no.
You've
What I'm
already
saying
paid
is,
for it.
if we just severed ties with California, Washington, and Oregon, let the conservatives come out and be vetted. And hey, we got
Basically, they've been doing that
depending on
already.
how much of Oklahoma is still left.
Basically, they've been doing that already. That's the reason people in Montana are saying we don't want any more Californians coming to Montana.
Yes,
Yeah, really.
those are the bad ones.
Well, it's the people that are trying to get out of what's going on in California.
And the
course.
problem is they bring their idiot ideas with them and try to
Yeah, that's
enforce them
right.
on other folks.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
what I'm
Like all
saying,
the
you vet 'em.
Muslims, like all the Muslims have done up there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And in Michigan.
In Michigan.
Yeah, but Obama sent them there.
Yep.
I know. But nevertheless, they have imported their lack of culture into our country and tried to enforce their will, and they've gotten away with it in some places.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ought to send George Soros over to Russia.
I don't think he's allowed.
Yeah, they've got it. They've indicted him. They want him. They want him. That's the reason I'm saying send him over there. Putin will take care of him.
Hey,
I'm all for that.
have y'all heard any more about what's going to happen in Oklahoma when was it the Supreme Court that said that a large chunk of Oklahoma belonged to the Indians?
I heard that. Yeah,
Have you heard anything more about it?
I have not. I have not. I don't know where it's at right now.
Well, I thought that was the Supreme Court that did that. That, you know, said that they had to turn over the lands to the Indian Nation.
Well, let me look and see. See if I can look something up real quick. By the way, show topics for tomorrow so far, we've got you talking, but you want to talk about the NFL because you watched the game, right?
I watched the games. I've seen the commercials. I've gone to the website and saw what kind of foolishness is on the website.
Okay. And then you you want to talk about your time in Facebook jail,
Mm-hmm.
Biden COVID response. Mine is Amy Coney Barrett, the town hall shows, and Hunter Biden. Now, Gerald, how involved do you want to be in the show in the morning?
I really don't want to in the morning.
Would you mind talking about what we just got through talking about?
Well, I can call in and
Facebook and Twitter.
I can call in and talk about it.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I just be a call in.
Okay. As long as you're listening, because who knows when we're going to get to it.
Do what now?
Who knows when we're going to get to it. So as long as
Yeah.
you're listening.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure you'll be sitting there monitoring all the feeds.
Well, if I can figure out how to do it, we'll have to go over before we leave about where all the feeds are going to be at. Terry says he's going to put one of them on his Facebook.
Yeah. By the way, Saban's going to be on the field tomorrow to coach Crimson Tide.
Is that right?
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Smart.
Yeah, he tested negative
today. I'm gonna tell you what. Now, I'm as big a Saban fan and a Bama fan as there is, but that's going to be a heck of a game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
If his record is ever broken, it's probably it may get broken tomorrow.
Actually,
I'm telling you, Georgia's super tough.
Yeah.
I actually figure that the one that's going to beat him is the one he just beat.
Oh, you mean next year?
Kiffin.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is a defensive guru.
Yeah.
Kiffin being the offensive guru is going to be what gives him the most trouble.
You may be right. Yeah, because this year his defense is not what it ought to be. Not really.
Okay, this is an article from NPR, actually. Supreme Court ruled Thursday. This is July 9th of this year.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Ruled Thursday that about half of the land in Oklahoma is within a Native American reservation. A decision that will have major consequences for both past and future criminal and civil cases. The court's decision hinged on the question of whether the Creek Reservation continued to exist after Oklahoma became a state. The decision was 5-4 with Justices Gorsuch, Sotomayor, Ginsburg, Kagan, and Breyer in the majority, while Justices Roberts, Kavanaugh, Alito, and Clarence Thomas dissented. So the ruling will have significant legal implications for eastern Oklahoma, much of Tulsa, Muskogee Creek land. So let's see if it says how it's going to progress. It says the first is that first ruling is that certain major crimes committed within boundaries of reservations must be prosecuted in federal court rather than state court if a Native American is involved. So if a Native American is accused of a major crime in downtown Tulsa, the federal government rather than the state government will prosecute it. Less serious crimes involving Native Americans on American Indian land will be handled in tribal courts. The arrangement's already common in western states like Arizona, New Mexico, Montana.
That was
So,
back in July.
yeah, July 9.
Hadn't heard very much about it.
No, I hadn't either.
Well,
Well,
according to that,
apparently
it doesn't sound
ownership-
like there's much changing of land. It just looks like the boundaries are going to be extended.
Michigan bans open carry of guns at polling locations on election day.
Did y'all see that post I made that Trump announced that he's 1% up in the polls in Michigan?
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome.
And then I called one of my friends up there and he said that there's a whole group of people at these early voting polling stations with signs saying Democrat women for Trump.
Awesome. The White House has okayed the wildfire aid for California. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, apparently Rod's not going to get with us, but I think where I'm going to share this to in the morning, Gerald, is my Facebook page.
Yeah. Okay.
That way everybody will have access to it.
Okay.
And so you can share it, everywhere else. And also I'll be recording it here on the computer like last week.
Well, just you can start the recording at exactly 9 o'clock, can't you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do so that you don't have any editing to do when you upload it to YouTube.
Okay. All right. I just started it recording, so I'll stop it. So we'll have, because it immediately renders it and converts it to MP4 as soon as the meeting's over.
Okay. That's an ideal format for YouTube.
Right. So we're good. We're good to go there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else y'all want to talk about tonight?
No.
There's a lot we could talk about, but
Got to save it for tomorrow.
yeah, got to save it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I've got OBS. I've got the feed going into OBS, the Streamlabs OBS. And once I'll have that up by next weekend. There's like 500 different settings you have to change on this stuff to get it. And everything has got to be perfect, or else it won't go out right.
Yeah.
I've got it right now. I can send it to YouTube and I can send it to Facebook, but the aspect ratio is wrong. Like I've just got a part of my head up here is all you can see in the video. So I know there's just a setting in there, but finding it is the bear.
Have you looked at any forums to ask the questions about it?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So, plus I've appealed to help of Streamlabs, and they're pretty good at getting back to me. So I keep, I solve one problem and then I run into another problem that I've got to, anyway. But I should have it all hopefully working together by next Saturday, and that way we can push it out to Twitter. We can push it out to, which I don't think Twitter will let us. We can, we can send it out to YouTube. We can send it out to Facebook simultaneously.
That sounds good to me.
All right. Gerald, you got anything else you want to bring up, buddy?
No, not really.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, right?
Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
Are you gonna send out another invitation or with it?
Yeah,
It
it's
should-
set up to where it's supposed to send it out. Did you get one for tonight?
Yeah, I did.
I've got it in my calendar for Friday for the next 100 years. For the next 100 years, I think.
You mean Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as that's the one we're using, that's the one I can go to and just, I mean, I don't look at the emails on my laptop. I just look at it on my phone. Because for whatever reason, this computer doesn't like email.
Really?
Forever to load. It's just, well, I mean, it was a inexpensive computer. So,
Yeah.
You're using Gmail?
yeah.
Okay.
But that also ties directly into my calendar. So, like I say, it's there. And whenever I go to the calendar, I see, the meeting number and password. So,
Brian, did Terry share with you that that tip I gave him about cheap computers? About
I don't
buying
think so.
HP refurbished computers?
I don't think I gave it to Rod, and Rod said he hadn't bought a computer yet, but he's going to. But I don't think did I tell you about that, Brian?
Here, a company policy in HP is that if somebody buys a computer, let's say they go over to Best Buy and they take it out of the store and they
Yeah.
decide they don't want it and they bring it back, the Best Buy can't sell it. They have to send it back to HP.
Right.
HP has to make sure that they haven't downloaded anything onto the hard drive that might be offensive. They wipe the hard drive. They even put new stickers on it, new protective film, everything. And they sell it as a refurbished unit. And it's probably at about 20% of retail.
Yeah, I think that's what I've got. It's a Dell.
Yeah, the Dell refurbished that you get are actually used. Dell does not do the same thing HP does.
Okay.
It's only HP that's doing this. So when you buy one of those Dell refurbished units, it truly has been set there and used. It's the HPs that you're going to get this a brand new. It's going to be a brand new computer.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, never used at all, but it's been sent back to the factory and they go through it. And
Bring it
so,
to the
There's Rod.
Hey.
so you're basically buying it at about an 80% discount.
It's this lovely producer. It is. It's the lovely Bridget. How you doing, girl? I'm not sure she can hear.
Got the audio figured out yet? Or up yet?
I gotta find the volume.
There you go.
I'm working.
Hey, Bridget.
Hey, I finally found the volume button on this computer.
How are you tonight?
I'm good.
Good.
We school at 1 o'clock today. And so I came home and actually got a nap and started weeding the flower bed.
Good for you.
So yeah, got a lot done. So anyway, here's the man.
All righty. Thanks,
Hey.
Bridget.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The Rod Man.
Hi, guys. How are y'all?
The legend, the Rod.
The one and only. Oh, she's bringing me my hey, look at this.
Bringing your hay.
My green background here.
Oh, okay.
What's got a back, hasn't it?
We gotta move this around. Was it look around the bottom? Oh, one mistake.
There we go.
Rod, this is the background I'm going to use.
Brian.
Does that work?
I just got out of Facebook jail.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that is rather appropriate then.
Yeah.
do exactly? I didn't see that, or I think I missed it.
Do what now?
What did you do exactly to end up in the FB jail?
Oh, I told a joke.
A joke.
I told a joke. Even put in the comment section that this is a joke. See, a couple of months ago, I made a comment that the Democrats, not Democrats,
Yeah.
Democrats had to go vote on November 4th. And Joey, our sponsor, had something that he had posted, and I made a comment about that. What it was what Joey had put up there was the comment about Biden whenever he said that the black lady at the store
Yeah.
shelves and all that. Well, the Facebook fact checker said he was just joking.
Yeah.
And then I wrote back, well, I was joking and told a joke that the Democrats need to vote on November 4th. That's what I got put in jail for.
See, I did the same joke about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they dinged me for it. So now I see I'm able to, when I send out a message on Messenger, I could send it out to a ton of people. But now I'm limited to 7. I can't send it more than to 7 people, and I'm kind of on probation according to them.
Well, I noticed that I can only, when I want to share something with somebody on like Messenger, about 6 or 7. Is that mean you're on probation?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I wondered why that was.
But you would have gotten a notice of
Well,
that.
I didn't get a notice though.
There is a difference in sharing it on your phone and sharing it on a computer. On a computer, for example, on mine, I'm limited to 5 on my phone, but on a computer, I'm virtually unlimited. It's just as many as I want to click on.
Okay. Well, my phone's all I ever use, or pretty much all I ever use.
So there may be yours may be because you're using a phone, Rod.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wondered why that was. I mean, the time was when I could share it with as many people as I wanted to. But now, after about 5, that's it. But anyway.
Hey, Rod, you need to scoot your computer over a little bit. You're covering up part of the logo. I'm not saying you got a big head or anything, but.
Sure.
He's not saying it, but you got a big head, Rod.
Keeps moving with me, man.
Sometimes that's what happens when you hang out with celebrities like that.
Yeah, when I hang out with celebrities like you guys, I mean, you're gonna get the big head.
Well, I did introduce you to Tom Lester. That's true.
That is true. Bless Tom's heart, he just didn't make it, did he?
No, he passed, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, and he's a handwritten letter in pencil. And I had it laminated, and I can't find that thing to save my life now. I don't know what on earth I did with it. I could kick myself in the rear end 1,000 times for having lost it. I don't know.
Maybe it'll turn up.
I hope it does eventually, but it may not.
It may not. Well, Rod, we've pretty well been talking about the subjects we're going to cover in the morning.
Yeah.
And Brian, tell them what you're looking at covering.
Well, one thing is the NFL and their partnership for the elections. I'm going to talk about my time in Facebook jail and ask Gerald to kind of step in there and kind of explain the difference between a platform and a publisher.
Yeah.
The last thing is going to be tied in with Terry talking about the town halls. The one thing that really got me was Biden and his COVID response.
Yeah, I didn't watch either one of them last night. I went to a revival meeting over where I used to attend church, and I went to that, and I basically forgot about it, is what happened, and it was over by the time I got home. But well, Bridget says she has recorded part of it, so.
Well, they're both on YouTube.
I figured it was.
Although
Yeah.
you gotta really search for the Biden one. I mean, I figured it'd pop up real quick. No, I had to
Excuse me.
look for it.
Well, and then I'm going to be talking about Amy Coney Barrett
Yeah.
and the town hall shows. Of course, the Biden one was a joke, and then talking about Hunter Biden and a lot of the stuff that's come out about him, and it's unbelievable. Gerald, what you said that Hunter Biden, Tucker Carlson said?
Tucker Carlson announced tonight that that laptop has been totally confirmed that it belonged to Hunter Biden. He said incontrovertible proof is what he says.
Awesome.
You know, that was the reason that Facebook and Twitter were pretending to be able to censor folks over that, because nobody could prove that it was his laptop. Now that,
But now the proof is out there. Are they going to change it to
I
where
don't know.
people can see about it?
I don't know. They never stopped me from posting about it. I posted probably 20 or 30 stories on it on Facebook. I don't have a Twitter account anymore.
Well, my question is anything going to be done about it? Is anything, well, do you honestly think he's going to be called on the carpet about it?
If Joe was elected, no. If Trump is reelected, yes.
Trump will be reelected. I'm all but convinced.
Yeah, me too.
Now, I don't say that because I don't want people to think that it's in the bag and they decide not to go vote. But it seems like every day now it's a little bit more evident that he's carrying, just like one of y'all posted today, that he 60% of black votes somewhere that he's is carrying at the present. I believe it was in Michigan, somewhere like that. But
No, I didn't see that.
Well, I know nationwide he's getting more and more of the black vote.
yeah.
And I know there's 3 votes here, but that's
You ought to be the expert on the black vote, I would think.
I am for a certain street in Athens, Alabama.
Yeah. That's that is just too rich.
So, Rod,
Here's what you could do, Brian. You could make a statement that we conducted a poll, and basically what we did, we polled all the blacks that live on a certain street, and he's getting over. Would say he's getting over 70% of those blacks. And let's make headlines out of that. We'll publish a story, and it'll be big time.
I guarantee you, though, half the people out there won't get it, though.
No. I had one guy tell me that I needed to watch out whenever I would make jokes like that.
Well,
because I might offend people. I'm not going to go change my name. I can tell you what this black thinks.
Oh, brother.
Oh, Lordy have mercy.
And
So-
look at it this way. Of this this podcast, I'm the token black.
Yeah.
So if I say I was talking to a black over in Athens today, and he says that all the blacks on his street are going to vote for Trump, I'm
Well, I wouldn't say all.
all the blacks that he
Because
knows on his street.
My neighbor, which is one of my best friends,
Hmm.
black, and there's a couple that lives down the street.
They're all named Black.
That's why I said for a certain section of the street that I can 100% say that they'll be voting for Trump.
On a certain block. Let's put it that way.
I'm going to figure out how to put a little graphic up on yours saying the right angle's token black.
Fine with me. I mean, conservatives will get it because it's a joke. The liberals won't get it because, he's being offensive.
Oh, somebody will get offended more than likely if you do it. I mean,
Well, you're going to get. Hey, I put a thing on TikTok that just went crazy. It was a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and the text beside it said, "Don't believe something just because there's a quote," and quote was in parentheses beside a picture. It was a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and I posted that, and people have just gone crazy over it. But there's a few people that have said, well, Lincoln couldn't have said that. He didn't even know what the internet was.
What was it, about a year and a half ago, maybe even 2, that someone had superimposed a MAGA hat on Lincoln's head?
Yeah.
And I think it was Chelsea that was making a big deal about it. No, that had to be photoshopped. Of course it was photoshopped, you idiot.
It is amazing.
oh, brother.
And people want her to run for office.
Mm.
Oh, I would. That's a scary thought.
Have y'all heard the rumors about who she actually belongs to?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
compared the pictures and everything. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You talking about
Webb Hubble,
who?
Webster Hubble.
Webb Hubble.
No, that's not who I heard.
Yeah, that's who Bill Clinton says it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a picture of Webb Hubble.
I heard it was Arafat.
Sometime.
Huh?
I heard it was Arafat.
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 I never heard that.
Oh yeah, and someone put the timing together. She was over there and had a meeting with him, and then about 9 months later, here comes Chelsea,
Really?
and they do that based on her nose.
Well, the things that I've seen compare their lips, her lips and Webb Hubble's lips, you know.
Yeah, that bottom lip.
I'm not going to say what I was just thinking, because we're going to maintain a family show.
Well, we're all family here. Go ahead.
Well,
Rod, do you have anything in
but
particular?
we're still live.
Rod, do you have anything in
gonna say
particular
anything.
you want to talk about in the morning?
Oh, I don't know, Terry. I thought about maybe talking about where babies come from or something, but I don't know. But
I've been wondering about that. Where do babies come from?
I'll tell you in the morning. Just stay tuned. Is there anything that maybe needs to be covered that, I mean, I've thought today a few times about, I don't know, my mind just runs in so many different directions at one time. So it's hard for me just to settle on one thing, I guess. But give me a suggestion here. I mean, whatever it is, I probably know something about it or a good bit about it, whatever it would be.
What ticked you off most this week?
Wow. What ticked me off? You talking about in the world of politics? I'm
Well,
assuming.
maybe not necessarily, but you know.
Just yeah, my producer wife over here just suggested maybe talking about Nick Saban and his having COVID.
And the possibility that big old,
And
cause issues.
we've gotten well, I say information. She talked to somebody who said that they had heard that it was going around down in Tuscaloosa around the school that BLM is upset because law enforcement somewhere around Tuscaloosa, I don't know if it's the police or sheriff's department, did they shoot the guy or did they kill him or what? It was a white officer did something to a black fella. Well, they're upset about it and they want the guy fired. And if he's not fired by tomorrow, they're going to make their presence known at the ball game. And I don't know. I just got a feeling that maybe Saban's, shall I say, faking COVID just so he doesn't have to show up.
No, he's going to be there tomorrow. He's going to be coaching the team. He tested negative today. So he's going to be there.
I've not heard that now.
Yeah, he's going to be there. He's tested negative today.
I'm waiting for the punchline.
Do what?
I was waiting for the punchline. I thought this was a joke.
No, no.
He actually tested again and tested negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that in the press conference yesterday that everybody on the team and all the staff, they get tested every day. CBS Sports, Alabama coach Nick Saban tests negative for COVID-19 on Thursday.
Yeah, opens possibility of coach gets.
Well, I mean, I was just hearing today that they were talking about how that he could not coach from home. I mean, he had
Right. That was the SEC. No.
Yeah. Yes.
Kind of makes you wonder if the whole COVID thing was just a way to
Yeah.
Georgia's mind out.
I don't know. It just I'm a conspiracy theorist type, but to me, something's just weird about him. The timing on that.
Georgia.
The what?
Maybe they were just messing with Georgia's head.
Yeah, they could just be. It could be a mind game. They're just trying to mess with Georgia and making them think that they're going to come over and have an easy day of it.
But Rod, here's the thing. So many of those tests you get false positives with.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're saying about his. They're saying it was a false positive.
Well, but that's news to me. I had not heard that.
Yeah, it came out about 4 or 5 hours ago.
So tomorrow night, 7:00, he's supposed to be on the field.
And he talks about in his press conference yesterday.
Yeah.
Just type in Nick Saban
Yeah, I saw
on YouTube.
Yeah.
He spent the first few minutes talking about the testing process they go through, and he called out what test it was, but it's the one that you get pretty quick, comes back. So
Not the one where they tickle your brain with the Q-tip, is it?
I don't know. My wife has to endure that twice a week.
Well, I went and got tested back in, I don't know, I guess it was back in July or the first few days of August. And, I'm sitting there in my truck got this foolish mask on, of course. And here's this nurse up there, and she's got this thing running it up my nose. Oh Lord, I mean, it just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that I have not caught it because since this has happened, I've been to probably 12 doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, you go to the third floor to one doctor, and then they want you to get labs on your way out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm around it all the time, I think, and
What's your blood type, if you don't mind me asking, Brian?
I am an A+ guy.
Okay. So I've been told that people with O type blood, be it O positive or O negative, are not as susceptible to COVID-19 as some of the others.
I've heard that. Yeah.
See, we're all, Bridget's O, she's O negative, and I'm O positive, and the girls are both O negative.
Now, be careful when you start talking about your wife and talking about them being old.
Well, she
Where's the frying pan?
Yeah, I'm kind of watching her out of the corner of my eye here to make sure. She's she what? Yeah. She hits a low. I'll just leave it at that. Be real particular.
Well, guys, in case, has anybody else got anything else they want to add?
No.
Gerald, we haven't heard from you in a while. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm just taking it all in.
One thing we really need to try and figure out is how to get comments and phones, because I put a message out there earlier this week. I had a guy that worked for me say he listened and would like to, be able to comment.
Brian, what I thought was we'd go ahead and send him the link to join in on Zoom.
Yeah.
And if you know him, then
Yeah.
we'll just bring him in.
Yeah.
We'll just bring him in as another caller.
Okay.
Gerald's going to call in tomorrow, but he's not going to be on all the time.
Same way we do with Robert.
Robert won't be with us tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
I've started to stop y'all a couple times, but I talked to Robert for 20 minutes probably today. He's not doing well. I mean, he's not in danger of losing his life, I don't believe, but he is very, very sick. He's having a lot of lung problems and just incredibly fatigued. He said he walks across the room and he's sit down and he's completely exhausted just walking across the room.
Yeah.
So he said his doctor, he was on a telemed today with his doctor, and the doctor said that he's looking at 2 to 4 weeks before he comes out of this. So.
Well, how long? He's already had it for a couple of weeks, hasn't he?
He's had it for about a week and a half, I think.
Well,
Susan Cook had it for a month and she's still getting tired.
Bridget, a girl that she works with, had it, and she was sick for about a month, and she says that she still suffers from the fatigue of it. And I've talked to several people that have had it, and they said the same thing. That.
Well, now, did you see what those? There was like 1,000 doctors in, I believe it was the Netherlands today, that came out and said that that COVID is nothing more than a bad flu. And they were suing the government of the Netherlands to get all the lockdown stuff ended. They said it's nothing but a bad flu. Now, if you've ever had a really, really bad flu, you swear you're gonna die. I mean, I had the flu one time when I was living in Louisiana. That, oh my gosh, and it took me 2 months to get over it.
Mm.
So there may be some validity to what they're saying.
I don't believe we're not being told the truth about it in this country altogether. Now, I know there are people who, I hate to even go into this, but there are some people that they are, even after, if this now an end is announced to it, they'll still continue to wear masks and social distance and the whole 9 yards, because it's that entrenched in their being that so I don't know.
Brian, are you looking that up about the doctors?
No, I was going to send him that link.
Oh,
His name is Jeremy McMunn. So,
okay.
I mean, obviously, we're not going to have a whole lot of people calling in, but that way you'll see him.
Have him text you when he's about to come in.
Okay.
And that way you can just say, hey, Terry, I think we've got a caller about to join us. So I can watch for it when it comes up here and pops up.
Yeah.
And I'll let you even introduce the guy when he comes on.
Okay. Yeah, he used to work for me whenever I was at Madison Security.
Yeah. Okay.
Good guy.
So now, you say millennial?
Do what now?
You said he's a millennial?
Yes.
Good. We need that perspective. Now, Rod, can you see your picture there? Can you see yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. When you put your hand up to your face sometimes,
Yeah.
it puts out the green screen behind you and it
Well, the same thing happens to you, Terry.
yeah, I know. So I'm trying to not do as much gesticulation as I normally do.
Ooh.
Learned a new word, didn't you, Rod?
Now, Rod, put right there. Hold on. See your picture?
Yeah.
See that green behind your head?
Yep.
So, see when you put your hand to your head?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Okay.
When will these things actually take effect? I mean,
Well, you've got you should have a thing down there right where it says, see where you down on the bottom of the screen there where it says stop video?
yeah.
Click on that little arrow right beside it.
Yeah.
Okay. Click choose virtual background. You got it up?
Yeah.
All right, down on the bottom, it should have a little thing you could check. It says, I have a green screen.
All right.
Click on that.
Well. Okay. It's not doing anything.
Hopefully that'll do better. Try putting your hand up to your head now and see what it does. Still does the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, unless y'all got something else you want to talk about. Rod, just pick a subject tomorrow and, try to, do a little research on it.
All right.
And whatever you want to talk about.
All right.
Ryan's going to talk.
I've got one in
Ryan,
mind.
tell him again what you're going to talk about.
I'm going to talk about the NFL and their joining with certain groups for election. I'm going to talk about my time in jail and get Gerald to explain some different things, different aspects about Facebook and all that. And when Terry is talking about the town hall, Biden's response to, or what his response to COVID would have been, I thought was very interesting. So those are the three things that I'm going to be talking about at least.
I'm going to be talking about Hunter Biden and about Amy Coney Barrett. And there's something else. I forgot what it was right now. Anyway, let me look it up here.
Hello.
But if you want to do some research on that BLM thing at the Alabama game, that's fine.
Me? You talking to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Amy Coney Barrett, the town hall shows, and Hunter Biden.
All right.
So anything other than those 6 subjects or 5 subjects, that'll be great.
That should pretty much cover 2 hours.
Oh yeah, we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes now. We hadn't even touched the surface.
I'll see if I can get Saban to call in.
You do that.
That'd be great. That would be great. I'll send him the link.
You go ahead and announce in the morning that one of our members is going to have Saban call in, Terry.
You will just increase our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd go like wildfire, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Now his wife. Now, I mean, she would. If you asked her, she would remember me. She might not remember my name, but I was pretty close to being on a first name basis with her. She is a wild and crazy chick.
Terry?
Terry?
Yes.
Miss Terry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Miss Terry.
All right, guys.
Well, I mean, based on the conversation and I were having before everybody else got on here, we call him Miss Terry. Where'd Rod go?
I don't know. I guess he got mad and left.
We're calling you Miss Terry.
Been called worse. Been called worse. All right, gentlemen. Well, I'll why don't we gather back around 8:30 in the morning,
All right.
do a little pre-show, and then I'll start recording and pushing out to Facebook right at 9 o'clock.
All right.
Gerald, that sound good to you, buddy?
Works for me.
All right, gentlemen. I'll see y'all in the morning.
All
Who are you
right.
talking to now?
You and Gerald.
Well, you said gentlemen, so I wasn't.
No, that's true. I'm feeling very, very, conciliatory towards you guys.
Okay. All right, guys. Roll Tide.
See you. Roll Tide.
Go Vols.